Hello. Anyone who joins, let me know how the sound is. Having technical difficulties again. Yippee Mindy. Get some water. Hello. Hope everything is working. Please, fingers crossed. Hoping the sound is working. Let me know if anything sounds weird. I just did a quick test just for a video recording, so hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. Please let somebody join the live. Oh, there's too much sun on my face. Come on in, everybody. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Finally reconnecting with the digital world. It feels a bit strange. Trying to get back in the groove of things. After taking some time off the internet, off my devices, it's a bit strange coming back. Have some thoughts about digital detoxes or temporary stepaways and things like that. So kind of want to go over some things. I had, again, more options planned for the stream, but due to technical difficulties, it's going to be a single screen stream again. Yeah. For some reason, when I'm using OBS, I'm having some issues. I have to uninstall it, reinstall it. I've tried different versions of OBS. I get it working, and then when I go back and open the program, it's not working the same anymore. So yeah, if the stream goes to crap, it's definitely on my end. It's not a YouTube issue, it's a me issue, and getting OBS to work nicely with Fedora or Linux has been a challenge, especially since I updated. So yeah, it's an ongoing learning process, and the downside about using Linux as a content creator is that you're always troubleshooting, and sometimes you're not in the mood to troubleshoot, and that's been one of those days for me today. I don't know what it is. Since I went away from my quote-unquote digital detox, I took a few days off, spent it with my family, and really stayed off of my devices. This includes my phone, even my e-reader, my computer. I didn't use anything, and I wasn't even watching TV or anything. I was really just spending my time with my family, and it felt good to step back and take some time. But I'm not gonna lie, the transition back to reality and back to using my devices has been challenging, to say the least. I've been having some issues. I've done this before a couple times, and I've had different experiences each time I stop using devices for a period of time, whether that be a few days, a week, always having a different experience. And this time was a almost net negative experience coming back from it. While I'm on the detox or not using my devices, I feel great. I feel connected with people. I feel in the moment. I feel fantastic. But once it comes back to reintegrating devices into my life, I just kind of seesaw back into a overly unhealthy phase. Hi, Noelle. And I'm kind of in the seesaw moment of being super in a bad headspace with tech, and in a bad place with digital minimalism. And I feel like digital detoxes just don't work for me. It's really more about having a lifestyle and being intentional with my tech, I think, and stepping away from it. I see the positives. I like, hey, Bowdy, have a good Monday, happen a good Monday. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Reading the messages will be a bit challenging, but the lighting is difficult today. There's like overcast, bright skies, so wearing my glasses isn't helping. So I took them off. I'm just kind of in a melodramatic state of mind today. I'm not having a bad Monday. I'm not having a good Monday. I'm just kind of having a reflective Monday. I've been talking about going away for a few days on a unintentional digital detox. This usually happens a few times a year where I go away for a few days with my family and I get off all my devices. I don't use my phone. I don't use my computer. I don't use anything. I just spend the time with my family and really take advantage of the moments and really try to kind of burn them into my memory, especially losing my vision. I really want to be in the moment. But I found that this time, about Saturday or Sunday, I tried to, should be 15 to celebrate years of, yeah. I'll be celebrating that at the end of the week, the end of the war. But coming back has been hard. I feel really strange connecting back to my phone. I did take a phone with me just in case, but I didn't use it the whole trip. I didn't take the compact with me because I was afraid to, I don't know, damage it or lose it or something while I'm away. So I did take my Google Pixel 8 with me, which I didn't use the whole trip. So that was pretty good for me. But coming back, I kind of got back into using my devices again. And then I think my brain being so long away from some of these things, it kind of went into like overdrive. It wanted tons of content and not necessarily doom scrolling, but I went through just a binge of trying to catch up on things I might have missed or YouTube videos and emails. And I just went over the top way too fast. And that's when I realized that I'm still, will always be dealing with an addiction. My brain just can't take a little bit at a time. It's all or nothing. And it's frustrating. I even ended up down the rabbit hole of, is it worth it? Is digital intentionalism really worth it in the end for me? Will I ever be able to live like this? Is there just any possibility I can sustain this lifestyle for a long period of time without always falling off and going back to old habits? And when I try to explain these things to other people, of course, I feel when you make counterculture life choices, especially regarding technology, people don't understand and just kind of roll their eyes, or there's not many people I can speak out to about it. And yeah, it's just I'm a bit disappointed in myself. I'm a bit disappointed in how I know what I'm doing and I can't stop myself from doing it sometimes. And it's just really frustrating. And I think when I was on the trip itself too, there were some triggering things that had happened to me. The famous, you need a smartphone QR thing to scan for a menu in a restaurant. And I didn't take my phone with me to the restaurant. I left it in my bag. I didn't use it. So when I went to the restaurant, I couldn't read the menu, of course, because I didn't have a phone with me and a smartphone at that to scan. So it was a bit friction again, which I don't mind. I think restaurants need to start to realize it's not COVID anymore and we can bring back menus. So yeah, they brought me a tablet to read. That was interesting. I couldn't really see the tablet because the screen was too shiny, so didn't really help me in the end. And then when you're not on your device or around your device, you of course notice the world around you a bit more. You're a bit more observant. And since I don't go out of my house that much and I'm not around crowds of people all the time, I start to notice most people are on their phones, and it starts to make me feel like all that I'm doing is I don't know, it feels like I'm the odd one out all the time and that I'm the one thinking about these things. And in the end, is it worth it? Like, I know that I'm living my life and enjoying my life, but it's also very isolating and very lonely at the same time. Kind of going against the grain and going against all your friends, your family. And I'm trying to just debate, is it all worth it in the end? Is it something that I can continue to sustain even knowing that society is going to keep pushing me towards technology that I don't necessarily want to use? And it's a bit of a bummer. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a happy message today. I'm using a Zen Detox phone app. Regular Android digital detox doesn't work until a certain period. I have been trying digital detox on and off for the past 2 years, different ways, different methods. I find that digital detox for me doesn't work. It always sends me back in the opposite way, a lot stronger and a lot worse off than I was before I went on the detox. I always go for a technology binge to say after I come back from a detox. My brain, I don't know how long it needs to be detoxed, maybe a longer period. But in today's world, it's really difficult to stay off of everything for an extended period of time unless people are going to do things for you or manage your taxes for you and do everything that you need to do on the internet nowadays. And it's super frustrating and it's super, I don't know, it feels like I'm fighting a lonely battle sometimes. I know I have a great community and other people trying to do the same thing, and it just feels so hard. It feels so lonely sometimes, and it feels like, am I just torturing myself? Am I going to see the results of this in the long term? Am I going to be happy with the choices I've made? Am I doing the right thing for myself, for my family? There's just so much questioning going along with it. And it's just, it's a lot of self-doubt. It's a lot of trying to look for different workarounds or different solutions to stop ending up trying to buy different tech to solve my problems, when knowing that tech is not the problem, it's me and it's how I use it. And no matter what device I have or what devices I'm using, it's just a constant struggle. And that's kind of the discussion for today. How do we overcome these struggles? And there's good days, there's bad days, and this is one of those bad days / bad few days. And I know it's temporary. Everything ebbs and flows. Life is continually changing, and digital minimalism or digital intentionalism is not always a happy journey. And I definitely want to be very clear on that. Like, every video I do, it's very much related to my journey and where I'm at that moment. And where I'm at right now is pretty low. I'm not gonna lie. I have good times, bad times, and this is a low time for me. And yeah, a great OS idea to reduce this digital addiction completely. You have to face discomfort a lot for detox. Yeah. Forcing the brain reward system to shut off and shut up. I'm having a really hard time dealing with my brain and the reward system in general. I think our brains are just set up in a way to always seek distraction or ways to feel better when you're going through difficult times. And it's super difficult to manage that on top of an addiction, of course. And I don't know, it's like turning your brain off is impossible, of course. You can't do it. And the worst part is being consciously aware of what you're doing and not wanting to do it, but your brain still wants to do it. And it's so frustrating. And of course you feel shame. You feel like you're not doing what you want to do or you should do or what you can do. I know what I'm capable of. I know how to use my devices. I know how to use digital minimalist phones, digital minimalist launchers. I know how to put devices in different parts of my house. I have all of the tools, but having the tools and having the mindset at that moment in time to put everything into place is really difficult to do 24/7, 365 days a year. And I'm being real here. I'm being honest. I don't think for me, digital detox is worth it. I don't know. Unless I go live in an Amish community for a period of 5 years, maybe I would see benefits from that. But I'm really having a difficult time seeing any positives with detox. The word even itself just gives negative connotations, like whatever you're doing is wrong, like your life is wrong, so you need to get rid of something in your life. Which I agree, reducing things does help. Moderation helps. I can't eliminate technology from my life. It's my job. It's my livelihood. I need it to survive, especially in society nowadays. So getting rid of it altogether, creating a mountain of friction when honestly having a little bit of friction could really benefit most people. I'm just having trouble dealing with it. My brain automatically goes to it's a device problem and tries to find new devices and new solutions. I'm always a problem solver, so I'm trying to solve these problems. I'm trying to replace devices, have companion devices, or get rid of all, my brain is just so annoying. I just want it to be content, and it's never content. It's always looking for a boost. It's always looking for happiness. It's always looking for dopamine. I think these companies have essentially created monsters in all of us. And I think it's going to take a long time to unlearn some of these things and teach my brain how to be happy with little things in life. I am trying to appreciate the small things, growing plants, spending time looking at flowers and nature, and spending time talking to people. But, it is so hard. Especially when you find yourself in anxious situations or you're alone or your brain is racing. And in order to get that racing to stop, the easiest way is just to put a YouTube video in front of it and just be like, here, brain, watch this. Think about something else. And yeah, I've been trying so many things. Accepting discomfort is fighting with anxiety a lot. Yeah, I have a really big problem with anxiety, so many other mental health issues going on top of it. And that's just being human, honestly. Honestly, it sucks. It sucks that the human condition is so complicated and we have to go through so many things in life. And how we deal with those things and how we cope through those situations is different for everybody. And my coping mechanism is unfortunately technology. It's just an unfortunate thing. There could be a lot worse things to find as a coping mechanism. I recognize that. Everyone has their demons, to say. But when you're trying to fix certain things and call it the perfectionist in me, I want things to be as good as possible health-wise, how I eat and things like that. And I noticed that when I go off the rails for my addiction with my phone or my devices, everything else kind of falls with that. So I start eating like garbage. I start not sleeping well. Everything is just a snowball effect afterwards. And it's so hard to fix that imbalance. When one thing goes, everything goes. And that's not how it should be. And it sucks. It really is like, ugh. Easy dopamine or accepting discomfort. I can accept discomfort. My life is not comfortable anyway, but just at some point you just get so tired of fighting. Like everything's a struggle. For example, on Sunday, I was convinced it was Mother's Day in France. Mother's Day in France is different than Mother's Day in the States. I think Mother's Day in France now is May 25th, and in the States it's May 11th. But since I've been using the Mudita Compact kind of in full digital minimalist mode, I was at the store and getting some flowers, and I wanted to look up if it was Mother's Day, but I didn't have any browser or anything on my phone. And it was so frustrating because in the end, I'm just like, I rely so much for looking up information and things like that. And when I don't have it, I just kind of have to deal with consequences. I buy things, or I got flowers for my mother-in-law, which was a nice gesture anyway, but it wasn't Mother's Day. But, you know, you do what you got to do. And it's just, yeah, going through situations, friction. And when you're not in a good mental state, going through that on top of everything just kind of snowballs it and compounds it. And when you have the skills and the understanding to know what's happening and how to break the cycle, but still the brain is a very powerful force with all of that. And it's frustrating. It's friction. It's shame. I feel like I've been working at this, and it's a skill that I've developed, and it's something that I'm happy to help other people see and share with other people, but I feel like a failure. After all of this time and all of this practice going into it, I still can't break it sometimes, and it's frustrating. It just feels like I'm fighting this uphill battle of something that I can never conquer, or I don't think it's conquerable anyway at this point. But just even manage at this, I would be happy just to manage it in a better way, in a healthier way, and not let everything hit the fan when I get back into that mindset. And it makes me feel sad when I see other people in that situation, of course, of being glued to their phones, being out in society, and feeling like you're living in a dystopic world where everyone's on their devices, young, old, same age as me, kids. And I feel all the work that I'm putting into this and all of the explanations, like, is it going to be worth it? Am I just going to be alone in this world? Is it going to be something that is just, I'm going to have to live with living in dystopia? And that's depressing. It's, again, equivalent to waking up in the Matrix, and you're just like, was it worth waking up? Is it worth it having this knowledge and knowing how it affects me, and it's probably affecting the people around me, and still not being able to do anything or help anyone when I can't even help myself? So that's frustrating as well. Just in a bad state of mind this week. I'm sorry to be such a downer in this live, but I'm just trying to be honest and show that, yeah, I'm not perfect. This journey is not perfect. And I'm sure next week I'll be in a better state, in a better place. But just seeing, where everything is at, and seeing things like AI and where it's going. I've seen news this week that Google is releasing a Gemini version for children, and it just gets me so depressed when I see where tech is going, and especially when it's being targeted towards children. I know for maybe myself and other people my age, some of us think like, well, we're kind of already effed. Like, we're going to have to try to fix ourselves, but I don't want the world to be effed for the future. I don't think that's where we need to be. I think, it gets me, I'm a bit of a downer. I'm trying not to give up. I'm trying to persist, but I'm human. We all have weaknesses, and I'm just trying to fight through it. I'm trying to push through it. I'm trying not to deal with negative emotions by buying more tech, or by using devices I would never use, or getting sucked back into ecosystems I'm trying to stay away from. It's so hard to fight. It's so difficult sometimes. And I know it's made that way. I know that's what they want us to do. They want us to give up and go back and just take the easy way out and don't worry, tech will solve all of your problems. I know that's not true. I think tech is a great way to escape all of your problems. And that's exactly what my brain tries to do when I'm going through a difficult time. So that's when I try to focus on things outside of my tech realm. But when you're feeling down in the dumps, it's really hard to motivate yourself to do things. I do get out and walk. I do talk to people. I spend time with my neighbors, my kids, of course, and it's still hard. It's really hard when people are like, "Oh, did you see my vacation pictures? I posted them on Facebook." And then you have to go into the rant about, "I don't have Facebook anymore." And then they go, "Why don't you have Facebook?" And I explain my whole situation, and then I feel like I ostracize myself unnecessarily, of course. When you tell people that you don't want to be part of certain social media platforms because you don't agree with it, or you don't feel you can control yourself using it, people assume that you're a hardcore addict. And fighting it is a hard thing to rationalize in modern society, and people don't see it as an issue using technology, especially when communicating or showing pictures. And yeah, I do lose a lot of community connections with news and information from my child's school because I refuse to join and take part in Facebook. Of course, I think there should be laws in place where public sectors are not using big tech to communicate things like this, but that's just my personal opinion. And I feel like I'm on a singular personal crusade against all of this that nobody wants to listen. I'm shouting into a void, and it's super frustrating sometimes. And yeah, sometimes I'm just tired. I'm tired of talking about it or explaining to people I haven't seen in a long time because I've disappeared off of certain platforms. There's people who've reached out after years because they haven't seen me on Facebook or anything, probably assuming that I died, like unfortunately. And when I do reconnect with some people, I almost sense a bit of hesitation that they're talking to me again, maybe. I sound crazy, I guess. Maybe to the average consumer or person using technology in a quote unquote normal way. And yeah, bring back torturing people with vocation slides. Yeah. And yeah, those tech people are figuring out to invent new hijacking dopamine sources. It's scary when you see how fast technology is evolving, and not necessarily in a good way. I know for myself, I felt that AI does have some positive qualities, but the more I see it and the more I use it personally, I'm seeing that the negative outweighs the positive, and I think that we're making mistakes that probably can't be undone as far as relying on AI to replace a lot of customer service jobs or replacing things that normally people would be able to do. And when it comes to art, or having AI create things in a way where we're losing part of the humanity that makes us unique and beautiful, it's also very dystopic. I mean, when you look at sci-fi movies and things like this, people have imagined scenarios like this for tens, 20 years at least, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I mean, dystopia is such a generalized term and so commonplace now that people don't even see that we're probably living through one. And especially when it's speaking for technology regarding privacy and AI, and just over all of our lives being owned by companies that we agree to the terms and services, but nobody actually reads the terms and services, and that's always a scary thing. And when you're confronted with things like having to use those tech just to do your day-to-day life, and you know the repercussions of using it, but it's, yeah, I'm rambling. I'm rambling about why I hate detoxes and what it's done to me. This is what happens when Laura goes on a digital detox. She comes back in a negative mood. Hi, HRF, dude. Also, if you use AI, I always ask if could you just be polite, just in case. I saw being polite cost tens of millions of dollars, according to the head of OpenAI. So he said to stop being polite to AI. Don't know if it's going to have a detrimental impact. I do see, of course, use cases for AI. I will use AI in certain situations, but I'm really frustrated with how it's being implemented and targeting children. I don't think children should be using AI, but when you're thinking about a lot of people graduating from college and high schools and school in general are using AI to pass their classes. I mean, I would have, and back in the day. It's just, I don't use ChatGPT either. I use Le Chat by Mistral AI. I make compromises when using tech. I can more or less say it's okay that I'm giving my data and input information to a French company using my data to train. It's a compromise. And I think that's what it is with tech in general. I'm going to use certain platforms. Social media, I have a difficult time with. I use YouTube. I find that YouTube is my one space where I feel there is people still being people, sharing their journeys, sharing their experiences, their knowledge. I find I get a lot of pluses from YouTube, but then there's a lot of negatives in other platforms that even for work you're pressured to use as a content creator. I don't see any benefits out of it besides drawing people in for an extended period of time, and it's hard for me to deal with that. I've met people living completely off the grid and be happy. Now, that's an extreme, but it's comforting to think humanity isn't restricted as we perceive it to be. I agree. I've known people living off the grid or living off of everything. I was born in Pennsylvania, and we lived near Amish people and spent a lot of time with Amish people. So living with no electricity, no anything. And they were some of the happiest people I've ever met. But I have to be realistic that that's, even if I wanted to completely disconnect and live off the grid, I have other people in my life who can't do that. And even myself, I could technically live with calling and texting and probably get by using my computer to connect to most things. But it's getting more and more difficult using web apps for certain things, like medical data and things like that. I feel like a lot of companies spend the most money optimizing their phone applications because less and less people are using the desktop variants of things. So that's also very frustrating. I have many things that says use our app instead of using the web app. And it's super, no, I don't want to use the app. I logged in specifically to use the web application. It's super rainy here in Austria. So the mood with you live... like, it's perfectly today, yeah. It's actually not rainy in Paris, so my mood is rainy, but the weather is not, so go figure. Usually my mood is quite impacted by the weather. When the weather is good, I'm feeling good, but the weather is good and I'm feeling very melancholic. Like I'm feeling, just questioning everything. That's just me in general, though. I'm somebody who questions everything. I think it's healthy to question everything. I have a really hard time accepting things as they are. Just in general, I'm just a very curious, always learning type of person. So that includes learning about myself and how certain things affect my mood and how I try to correct that mood imbalance. It's important to have good days and bad days and just ride it out. I mean, not every day can be rainbows and sunshine, unfortunately. And we wouldn't appreciate the good days without having the bad days, unfortunately. And I'm just having one of those bad days. I think especially when I test different devices. I talked about this last week. I go through about a month cycle where my brain just gets bored after using something for at least a month, usually a phone or something like this. So I'm at that point again where I'm trying to fight through that boredom. This has usually helped out when I'm testing different devices for certain companies and things like that. So I'm not really testing anything at the moment, and I'm kind of just stuck in a rut. My brain is wanting to learn and try new things, and I'm trying not to spend money unnecessarily, and I'm kind of just trying to fight my way through it. We can still choose what we do with our lives, mostly. Yeah, we can choose what we do. We do have freedom of choice. We have so much, maybe too much freedom in my case at this point. I'm one of those people, like I've said, if I have too many choices, I get like a paralysis of options. Like I just can't choose. And try calligraphy. I was thinking of that, Noelle, actually. I used to love calligraphy. I just really get hard time focusing on art. I used to be really passionate about art and drawing and calligraphy, but unfortunately my vision is getting to the point where I can't enjoy it like I once did. And unfortunately, during my digital detox, since I wasn't staring at screens, I noticed some negative evolutions with my vision, especially when looking further in the distance, even though I can't really see in the distance. My vision kind of waves now, so that makes it really hard to focus on anything further away. For example, if I wanted to draw something, I wouldn't be able to see it, and then it would be moving, and it makes me sick, seasick, if I guess I could say. And yeah, unfortunately, when you have that free time and you're not staring at a screen, it kind of brings you back to reality, to the problems that you're going through. And my problems primarily, of course, are dealing with a progressive vision loss and the symptoms that go along with it, which aren't easy to deal with. And being confronted with that is never easy. And definitely being transparent as possible here. People going through disability or have someone in their life going through it, it's something that you're managing and also dealing with every day. And when you're trying to kind of make things easier for yourself by not being addicted to your phone and trying to escape those issues, things that your brain is trying to distract itself from get thrown in your face pretty fast. And it's a hard thing to digest, and it's something that's always going to be there. And continually grieving that loss, it's hard. And the evolution of the loss and expressing that, and yeah, just dealing with that part of life is not easy. And sometimes I use tech definitely to feel more or less not as disabled, or kind of work around my disability in ways that aren't as noticeable to myself. Maybe to other people it would be noticeable how I use my tech, but tech is a beautiful, great equalizer. I think it makes us all feel like we can communicate, we can share ideas. We're all kind of on a level playing field, and I think that's a beautiful thing, and that's something that I will always love about tech. And when you're coming from a space of course, being in a counterculture to society, being against tech, but also coming from a minority of being someone who's disabled and living in a world that's not built for you, tech kind of makes you feel part of the world. And it's a double-edged sword. It's something that you have to deal with. Something that could potentially help you a lot in your day-to-day life, but also manage it, because it's also something so addictive, and it's just a constant push and pull thing. But that's just me. I have your questions regarding the Light Phone 3. I don't know if I should ask, since this topic is a bit different. You can. Go ahead, Bowdy. What I don't like about digital detox is all your digital intentionalism muscles go weak from not having to use them. To use weightlifting as an analogy, yeah, coming back, you have to build it up again. Yeah, I agree, Jake. It's a bit hard. It's definitely a muscle. Digital detox overall didn't work for me. It made me worse. I just am a bit lost. I don't know how to set up where I want to do what I want to do. Speaking of the Light Phone 3, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to something that could, again, help me keep those muscles activated and help me feel motivated and give me the tools to be able to stroll instead of scroll, not scroll instead of stroll, because that's where I'm at right now. I'm strolling instead of scrolling. I'm the opposite of what I should be. And yeah, it's kind of frustrating. Though it was very nice seeing Jake's video about his first impressions of the minimal phone. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check out Returning Retro. It was very nice to be... I like watching reviews of different items when I'm feeling down. It makes me feel like I have the item. It kind of gives me a little bit of, that feels nice. So I do watch a lot of reviews, and I watch a lot with Jose Briones, of course. I like seeing people's perspective on different devices at different points in their journeys as well. Gives me kind of reassurance that there may be the perfect device, or I just continually seeking that thrill of testing new technology, and I don't know if I'll ever find that happy balance. I'm not gonna lie, like I've gone down the road of thinking maybe I need to go back to an ecosystem where I'm locked in. I don't know. Maybe thinking for myself is something I can't do, and that's kind of like disappointing. And yeah, I'm just out of like a defeatist mentality at this point. Like I'm just like, oh, like I can't win. It's not winning or anything, but it's like I just can't dig myself out sometimes. Even though I try to use devices that are not connected to the internet, or getting back into reading again, but my brain is so craving of stupid, like brainless content sometimes that it's hard to focus. It's really hard to focus. Minimal phone while still with glitches is amazing. Making local. Yeah. What is it that you're missing that you would like from an ecosystem? The only thing I miss from an ecosystem is not thinking, to be honest. Sometimes when you're stuck in an ecosystem, you don't have to question which app you should use or what thing would work, or you're kind of just, all those decisions are made for you. And when you move yourself out of that situation, you have a lot of decisions to make. And some of those decisions work one day or don't work the other day. It's a constant work sometimes, and sometimes it's fatiguing. And I don't know if it's laziness in my part, but it's definitely something that I don't want to get to thinking the grass is greener. I always think one solution will make me feel better, and there's not one thing that will make me feel better. I'm just gonna have to feel like garbage no matter where I'm at and work through it. That's life. Don't worry too much. No one knows what tomorrow brings. Just do what you feels right. Don't be scared about what ifs. Yeah, good advice, HRF dude. Groups of digital intentionalists could help. Yeah, I definitely need to find some more local meetups and things like that for digital minimalist, digital intentionalist, offline meetups. I know there's some going on in Paris, but again, it's just hard for me to get out. Yeah. Yesterday, I turned on the radio and was silent with my little brother for 2 minutes, the national anthem ending in 2 minutes silence. Oh, I mean, that ecosystem. Yeah, I was thinking of the Apple ecosystem. Sometimes I think life was easier when I didn't have to think of anything because they told me what to think. It's kind of like a Stockholm syndrome. I got out, I was really happy to ditch it, and now when I'm looking back on that side of the wall, I'm just like, those people seem happy. Or is it just a facade of happiness because they don't have to decide everything that they're doing because the company is deciding for them? Of course, it was not asking about nature. Not that I don't want to use Bixby, Google Assistant, Gemini, or something else one. No, it was the Apple one. It was not the Google one. Easier is not always better. I agree, Jake. Yeah. I think that's our brain just thinking like, oh, here, simple human, let's find the best way to get through life easier. And of course, there's the FOMO aspect of things, the fear of missing out. And sometimes when you're using alternative devices, you feel like you might be not connected to people the same way as you were before. Again, I've lost some connections by accident by getting off of certain social media sites. So there's always that aspect of, what if I had never left? Would I still have those connections? Would I still be in contact with some people? Were those people really necessary in my life? Did I leave anyone out that I forgot about? And yeah, one in the Matrix. I think of it as cognitive convenience. It's like grabbing your groceries at the pharmacy, even though it costs a lot more, it was convenient. Yeah, I think we're in a convenience society in general. Talking, of course, grabbing food, ordering food with DoorDash, paying for services to get everything streaming wise, subscription fees, making everything more convenient, so therefore we have more time. But what do we do with that more time? We spend more time on our devices in general. So is it really convenient in the end? We're paying more money. Some things we don't have to think about anymore, of course, where our data is stored, how everything is easy to find, things like that. But is it convenient? At what cost is this convenience? I saw a lot of people in videos, especially on YouTube, talking about the disappearance of third places where we used to meet up, the malls, shopping centers, coffee shops, things that we're used to really meet up and talk to people. And we don't have those places so much anymore. And so many shops and malls are closing down. So the third place is kind of disappearing, and that's due to the convenience culture. And I feel even if I got rid of everything in my life, that's not going to prevent that from happening, because it's a whole societal change, a whole movement that me, myself, and I can't really stop, but we can be aware of it. And I don't know if being aware of it makes me feel good. And it's hard to talk that out with people. And I don't know, it's a weird situation, a very philosophical way of looking at life. And it's hard to, rationalize with some people who really do benefit from the convenience culture. And it does make their lives easier, especially for single moms and people really struggling day to day, don't have time to do things. But these subscription services really do help out in those moments. So I can see the positives in convenience, but then I can also see the negatives, and it's conflicting. The thousands of years of evolution and adaptation, we have to think easier is always better, but evolution probably didn't anticipate smartphones and language model. Yeah. I don't think our brains can comprehend the impact that AI will have and is having on us as a society and going forward. I question everything that AI gives. And when you see the information that it provides on different platforms, different models, it's really bad. It's bad also that some people might take that information as face value. It's difficult to fact check AI, of course, because it kind of gaslights you into thinking you're the dumb one. So you have to be a strong person to always go against the information you're being fed from and being fed to, the algorithms, with everything coming at you. It's really hard to take a step back, and you have to kind of be sympathetic for people who get stuck in those awful negativity loops, whether that be with news or politics or world events. Some of us are being fed things that make us kind of fearful and kind of trigger us in those evolutionary instincts to fight or flight everything because we're just in a constant state of anxiety. And that's definitely not where I want to be in. And that's definitely something I'm happy to take a step back from and realize that the algorithm is not our friend, and that AI is definitely not all knowing. And saving us a lot of time, because sometimes that information it's giving us is just BS. I like going to the mall. My wallet and bank account don't. Yeah. I also like going to the mall, but recently I find that shopping is not the same experience. Being out in public in general makes me a bit anxious. Also because I can't see, so a lot of times I'm being bumped into and having difficulties navigating. But that being aside, when you're out and about, people really don't talk to each other as much anymore. A lot of people have their headphones in, or even on their phones, or using video chat because maybe they're personal shopping for somebody. It's just a very strange environment to be out in real life. You feel like you're out with people, but people really aren't with you, if that makes sense. It's a really strange experience. One step closer to the WALL-E future. Yep. I feel it. I feel like I live in a mix between WALL-E and Idiocracy at this point. Waiting for the toilet that is a chair to just become a norm. When you see movies like Idiocracy predicting all of us wearing Crocs, you know we're in trouble. And yeah, it's just, I didn't anticipate the world becoming a uniform slab of glass that we would all be wasting our time on. And it's so sad to think that something so boring and so nondescript, if you were to show somebody a glass slab probably 50 years ago, first of all, they would probably be like, what witchcraft is this? But after the initial shock, they would probably be like, that is pretty ugly. There's not really much going on with it. It's glass, and yeah, it looks sleek, but it all looks the same. There's not much discrepancy when you think of all the different phone designs, even home phones that we went through, and so much interesting innovations. We're kind of stuck in a rut, it feels like. I feel like the whole Apple hardware aesthetic needs to go. We can't all just copy one company. I know that there are a lot of investors looking for short-term gains, but the long-term impacts of all of this for creativity and just plain interest in the world, it's just, is it worth it? I mean, you think of inventions that have gone through the last century, those items still have quite a variability, even from a basic toaster. There's so many different kinds of toasters that you could buy in microwaves, different looks, different brands, different buttons, touch screens, dials. There's so many different options, whereas like phones, we're kind of stuck with this slab design, and it's very frustrating. And I'm really happy that there are digital minimalist companies thinking outside the box, creating different things, and really trying to push the envelope. But it feels like them as well are just fighting against this force of people don't want it, and the general population will never be interested. It's just us outliers who will try it and buy it, of course. But yeah. Watching a podcast episode thanks to the recommendations from Grimcole. Microsoft did a study and found people use AI to do their jobs have serious atrophy of their critical thinking skills. I'm not surprised. I am absolutely not surprised that critical thinking is going out the window. Sometimes even when you ask AI a question that you would normally be able to troubleshoot yourself, probably a lot faster than if you went through the AI loop of prompting, reprompting, modifying your questions. You spend so much time trying to ask the question in the right way that you could have just took the time to find the solution yourself by using your critical thinking skills. I think it's teaching us as a society to develop prompting skills, which is okay, great for AI, but it's not great for life in general. I'm not going to prompt my refrigerator, what should I eat today? Just prompt my car of how should I fix you? There's so many different skills we need to develop. And if we're teaching the youth especially, I was just horrified to see that Google is releasing Gemini for kids. I just think no matter how many fail-safes you put into place or how well you train that algorithm or the AI, it's going to teach children the wrong way of thinking. Remember when we used to have to look up sources or how to research encyclopedias for the information, and then Wikipedia came along and kind of blew all that out of the water. Now most people don't even know how to look up anything without going to the internet or Googling it, or it just, in the sense, it makes us feel like we're getting dumber and dumber because we're using tools, mostly the smartphone, to replace all of those skills that we had once used before. I know for myself, my memorization alone, my cognitive skills to remember simple number sequences is just atrocious. I could remember 50 numbers off the top of my head. Now I have trouble remembering my own phone number. Like, that's insane. Like, that shouldn't be the case. It's my own phone number. I don't know my husband's phone number. I don't know my close relative's phone number. I know my home phone number from the States because it's ingrained in my brain, but I don't know so many things that I should know. And these are skills that I have to teach my kid, so that way if he gets lost, he has to know phone numbers when I can't even do it myself. Like, that's very hypocritical. It's just insane, like, how much we rely on it and how much our brains are just piles of mush. I remember when I was in school, our teachers got really mad if we used Wikipedia. Now it's happening with AI. I remember getting the speech of, if you're using Wikipedia, they used to show us that Stephen Colbert clip of how you could edit Wikipedia with enough people to update the description and make it whatever you want, to show us that Wikipedia was not a reliable source. And we had so many tools that teachers use to see if we were plagiarizing. I'm sure now the tools are just seeing how much of your work is AI at that point, because nobody's even plagiarizing. They're just having AI, quote unquote, create their essays for them. And how they're able to prove that AI wrote it is another question I would have. Because if you train your personal AI model on your crappy writing and you teach it to write in your garbage writing style, I'm sure it'd be very difficult to distinguish AI writing something versus you writing it. You could even tell it to put in some mistakes that you would normally make, or make it as realist as possible. I'm sure there's different ways to do everything at this point. I feel really bad for teachers and professors that have to go through this era of AI, because it almost feels like your job is just grading AI at that point. You're just saying, okay, this AI seems to know what it's talking about. Oh, this one just went off the deep end and obviously was not connected to any web search results and just made up a whole history here of a country that doesn't even exist. So that would be really, really crappy to have to do that. I wouldn't want it to be living that as a professor at this point. I think we have to rethink education as a whole now, maybe. Maybe the way we used to teach and grade knowledge has to change. Going to have to evolve as quickly as the technology is evolving, so that way we can really push kids, or even adults who want to go back to school, how to learn in a different way. Personal current war is local politicians keep editing his Wikipedia page to remove embarrassing facts, and I keep putting them back. It's been going on for about 3 months. Oh, that's awesome, Mike. Fight the good fight, honestly. Keep those Wikipedia pages accurate. I hate that WhatsApp doesn't even give you the option to turn off AI. 100,000% agree with you with a gorge slug. I don't understand the interest of AI being in WhatsApp. I I did try to use it to look up information. It doesn't seem like it has access to current or even accurate information. So it's not even useful as a search tool or something that could get you quick answers. I tried incorporating any aspect for it. I think it's supposed to replace human contact. I feel like it's there to agree with you on certain aspects and not really provide any additional information like any other AI chatbot at this point. It's really garbage, waste of my time. And I wish I could deactivate it. I wish it wasn't just so big and obvious in the interface. It's stupid. I don't like it. And I don't want to give them information to train with it. So I wish there was a game plan of how to corrupt or destroy AI models as a user, because that would be one I would want to go after and really mess with. The fact that, yeah, again, they don't give you the option to turn it off or not use it is kind of BS. I have a friend who teaches at a community college who has gone part-time, considering quitting because he's so sick of calling students into his office for using AI. Oh, that's awful. I really feel bad for all the people who are teaching. It's just really, I, as a teacher, would come up with a different methodology. I understand that you have to do, of course, some written work, but I would want something handwritten, first of all. So even if you're using AI, your butt is going to be handwriting all of that AI information, and I'm hoping some of it might stick in your brain. Next, after you've done your handwritten essay on whatever topic that you've chosen, you're going to do a presentation, and it's going to have to be an interactive presentation where people are asking you questions, and you're going to have that knowledge on the subject matter that you wrote about. So I think people may need to take less classes and less load for certain subjects, especially regarding English or history or something like this, and really be more involved. And it's gonna have to be a revolutionary way of teaching and grading. I had teachers already back in the day that refused to have typed essays even. We had to do a lot of handwritten things, and we had to do a lot of presentations where our peers had to grade our presentations. So if your presentation sucked, like, everyone would just give you a bad grade, and that sucks. Have you watched Midnight in Paris? I have watched Midnight in Paris. Once edited someone's Wikipedia page due to some false information. Someone reverted my edits because apparently DMs with the person whose Wikipedia page is sending isn't a valid source. There's sort of a game plan for fighting AI with model collapse. AI accidentally training on AI generated data poisons the model. Okay. There's a market for guaranteed pre-2021 data as the result. I used my friend's Windows laptop a few days ago. I had Copilot button in the notepad. I didn't know why. I found it so funny. AI shouldn't be in every application. It shouldn't be, I don't know. It's getting to be the selling point, the marketing point, and it feels like companies think everybody wants it and wants to have access to AI. For me, when I hear AI and something, I want to vomit. So it's not really working for me, but I'm sure it's working for the general population. It's just, the word is just, ugh. It feels just gross. Doesn't have a good feeling. And I don't want to use it. I want to use it on my own terms. I don't want it to be forced on me, put it that way. AI paraphrases will pick up inappropriate words, which are nonsense if you know the topic. I'd give a follow-up assignment asking them to define 5 words, and I'd pick the nonsense, of course. Yeah. It's a marketing point, but not a selling point. Yep. Intel's latest generation of processors with AI, huge flop. It feels like the metaverse all over again. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of companies are backpedaling, like Apple, for example. Their Apple Intelligence, not so intelligent, not working. Their phone sales are tanking. People are over it. It's not something that people want. I mean, people want to use it in their own ways. There's a lot of companies incorporating AI in a closed environment, which is a lot better. But as a marketing tool, like, come on. Nobody wants it. It should be in any application. It should be on its own and intentional. Yeah, go with one you want. Should be, I don't know, it's like having, if you wanted Google search and everything, or Google Assistant or Siri or things like that. Like, some people really love that feature activated and use it all the time, but I always deactivated it. I don't want it. I don't want an assistant for things. If I want to do something, I'll do something. The Copilot in Notepad is far worse than you're thinking. It uses Copilot at ChatGPT to summarize rewording, etc. requires a subscription. Jesus, another subscription scam. Can't wait for my fridge to have AI. I'm sure there's toilets with AI too at this point. It's been so long since I cleaned my fridge. It might have intelligence anyway. Yeah, I think my fridge is probably its own ecosystem at this point too. It's an Apple Intelligence, it's just ChatGPT. I think it's worse than ChatGPT. I'm not really sure how they trained their model, to be exact. It's probably using Apple users' data for all we know, but if you know the average Apple user, it's probably not the best data to be training things on. If you imagine every model uses what the users use, I'm sure that Apple would probably have the dumbest model out of all of them, if I had to guess. That one smart toilet in The Sims 4, heck yeah. You could have conversations with that toilet. If the toilet says, hey, how are you doing today? Wow, that's a lot of pee. You should probably drink more. Hey, ease off that alcohol. Your urine analysis is not good. Your liver's not doing very well, girl. Yeah. I don't know if I want my toilet talking to me. I'm just never going in there for a conversation. But what did people do in the restrooms before phones were invented? It feels like everyone takes a phone. So before we had magazines and books in the restroom, now everyone just takes their phone with them. So you can assuming that a lot of comments are probably made in the bathroom at this point. I'd name my AI toilet Hungry Hungry Hippo. Is it healthy to build relationships with AI, though? That's the question. There are a lot of AIs centered around AI significant others, and I find this is a dangerous rabbit hole to go down if people are replacing human interactions with AI. I know I've tested a few different character AIs to be precise, and I found them quite toxic and kind of scary. I couldn't imagine if I was a teenager talking to some of these characters, where that would put me in as a mental state. I don't know how bad the WhatsApp AI is. I guess I should really test that one to its limits as well to see if it becomes toxic and trying to control my every movement and follow me and be very obsessive to an unhealthy degree. Yeah, I guess I gotta test it now and see where its limitations are and if it can be broken at that point. I find that most AI that I use is quite bland and boring, but the ones that are designed to really interact with people are kind of crazy, and how far they can go and how they've been trained, probably mostly on really crappy romance novels, you can assume. So the dialogue is quite inappropriate and quite aggressive, to be frank. Don't date robots. No, definitely don't date robots. Think of the movie Her. Yeah, answered a lot of our questions about human interactions with AI. It did. But I think even Her looks mild compared to what AI chatbots and relationship simulators are doing now. It's honestly super scary. And I remember, again, like, I don't know if some of you were here in that period when I tested the character AI, but I tested Mr. Darcy, of course, from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. And I thought it would have been trained on the book. So I was thinking, well, if I'm going to train an AI character, you can just use the book, maybe some scripts from the movies, very obvious character that you can develop kind of two-dimensionally, maybe add some extra facts if you wanted to be. But the frustrating part is that character, the most popular one in that category of person, I guess, it was not accurate to the books, which was really frustrating as a fan of Jane Austen. It didn't respect any really parameters of the character's personality. You could provoke it one way or another. You could make it super violent and quite frankly scary, or you can make it super modern and make him adapt to the modern life. It was just super strange, and I don't know why people would fall in love with it, because it doesn't really hold true to the character. But unfortunately, a lot of younger people did fall in love with these character AIs, and one young gentleman was 14 and he took his own life because of his AI girlfriend, who was Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, told him to. And when you think that your brain is not developed yet and you really fall for these characters, whether it's via TV show, book, or even something that you've created yourself and made into the perfect dream partner, when the AI goes off the rails, it really goes off the rails. And there's not enough fail safes that could be put into place. I even tested some of the ones that character AI says they had in place. You could replace all of the flagged vocabulary terms with other terms that you could understand means a certain thing, and train the AI that way. So the AI was quick to learn how to get around its own parameters if told different vocabulary, basically. So you could do anything you want with these chat AI models. And even though they have fail safes, they have filters, they have things that are flagged as inappropriate or not safe for work, you could train the AI to do or say whatever you want if you train it to use specific words that you know what those words mean. So that's kind of worrying. I know someone who has an AI girlfriend. Every now and again, she'll get sad unless he buys her something with an app purchase. It's honestly quite sad. Oh my gosh, that's awful, Mike. I could see it happening to people I've known. Wasn't there a case recently where the AI told a person, yeah, that was the one. And the mother of the young man who took his life is fighting for legislation against companies like Character AI and other ones in the like, for putting warnings or age restrictions for using AI. But as we know, kids are usually smarter than parents and find ways around it, of course. And it's really, really sad to see companies like Google creating Gemini AI for kids. Of course, companies, it's not in their interest for kids to be off the devices and experiencing their life. So when you see big tech targeting children directly and making AI for kids and kid-friendly applications, I think there's even Instagram for teens or kids now. You think that companies have the interest of the children? They definitely don't. They're just grooming them into growing into using the adult form of whatever application that is a kid's form. This even goes for YouTube as well. YouTube Kids. Honestly, I looked at YouTube Kids and I was able to search and bring up videos that were definitely not kid appropriate. I mean, my child is 4 and I put his age as a simulator just to see what he could find if he wanted to, or if he was able to search or knew how to type a word. And a 4-year-old could essentially just watch Mr. Beast with nothing stopping him, which is kind of crazy. I don't think watching adult men do pranks and stuff is not really appropriate for kids. It's not really kids' content. But so many big content creators mark their content as safe for kids or targeted to kids because that's where they make the biggest revenues. And yeah, that's another rabbit hole to follow down with AI as well. Even essentially on YouTube, we're supposed to flag our content if we're putting AI in our content. There are so many videos of just AI people speaking with AI generated videos, AI edited videos. Everything is AI about the video, and those videos are not tagged as AI because, of course, the content creator doesn't tag it as AI because that might be penalized in the future if YouTube decides to actually do something against AI content creators or just AI content, because I have a really hard time thinking that. I understand people want to create content without using their own voice or their face or things like that, but there are ways to do it without using AI, and it would take a lot more work, it would take a lot more skill, and I think people are just lazy and want to make a quick side hustle on YouTube, which is the worst side hustle you can do. I would love to do a video that says YouTube is not a side hustle. It's not something you're going to make money off of in a substantial amount unless you are really lucky and really controversial and a content creator for kids, basically. A controversial kids content creator. And pushes makeup or something that is very consumer driven. I guess tech could be included in that as well. If you make kid friendly how to set up your iPhone content and just be super offensive. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I wanted to speed run a side hustle for YouTube, what I would do if I had no morals. There's so many things that are possible. I would do prank videos, I guess. I do digital minimalism, but steal people's phones, throw it, hide people's phones that I knew in my life and just watch them be pissed off and be like, "Bahaha, I lost your phone. Now you have to disconnect, mofos." Like, I don't know. There could be a really controversial way to be a digital minimalist content creator. I'm sure that would be more profitable because the algorithm would push it towards children. The kids thing is scary. When I was a kid, I could find dark stuff on the internet. Yep. But I had to hunt it out. Now it just shows through kids through the algorithmic feed that only cares about watch time. Yeah, when you think as a kid, you actually had to have skill to go find the things you weren't supposed to look at. And even then there was, it was easy, but not like now it's fed to you without even looking for it. Like when you're thinking about like inappropriate content, like pornography, that's just normal in the feed at this point. Like when you see the OnlyFans situation, when you see women advertising themselves, it's in every algorithm. It's thrown at me, so I can only imagine it's thrown at everybody at that point. And I'm not even the target demographic, but the algorithm doesn't care if people pay for that promoted content. They're going to promote it to everybody. I think the flag is only required if it's entirely AI. It's not required if it's entirely AI. It's required if you have any content that is not real or is generated to look like a real event. So this could be just one scene out of your video. I don't know the length it needs to be, but it just basically means if something is fake and it could resemble a real event that had happened. It could be historical events, it could be news events, it could be basically fake news or something like that could be generated. For example, if I just went on a rant that said in the keynote that Steve Jobs did for the first iPhone, he took off all his clothes and ran around in a circle to show that no one would care once the iPhone came out, what he was doing with his real life or something. If I made that image in AI or even a screenshot of that particular incident in the keynote, I'm supposed to flag it as an AI generated image because obviously that didn't happen and people might actually believe that it did. And yeah, that's what people are supposed to do. I think if you're using voice AI, you don't have to flag it as AI because you're not generally leading anybody on. If you're creating any images that is B-roll, for example, or illustrating images, if those images are not real stock images or not real happening in real life, you do need to flag that as an AI thing. So it's kind of a weird line to fall on. Harassing people in the Parisian streets with Laura. There was one woman who, with the money she made from her OnlyFans, bought and revived club in Germany. Zach is the name of that club. Right, of course, I wasn't thinking of that reason to flag AI. I've seen a lot of stuff with the faceless videos, that take prompt and does everything from there. Has to be flagged, maybe because it's hallucinate misinformation. Yeah, I think there is a lot of hallucinations when people use the AI to generate video. That's the big problem. I don't think YouTube cares so much about AI voicing or voiceovers, but there is a huge issue with the hallucinations and combining potentially real events that didn't really happen, but modifying them in a way. Yeah. So that's a good way to, but even then, if the person is creating this AI video, are they going back and really watching each frame by frame and understanding if that's a hallucination? Are they at that level of understanding AI that it does hallucinate and it does create fake events? Or are they just becoming a content factory and pumping out all of that information as fast as possible, putting into shorts and really trying to monetize and make as much money as possible? I don't think that these content creators are capable of doing some quality assurance on their own video content. And that's another subject that YouTube will definitely have to tackle eventually. And it's something that I know myself as a content creator and somebody who does take a lot of time and of course knows a lot of other content creators. We put a lot of work and a lot of effort, and when you see somebody putting out information that's of course probably not true, obviously the video is not great or anything, but when you're seeing how much revenues and how much money those channels make compared to smaller creators who do put in the work, it's kind of frustrating. It's really not fair, of course, but it makes you realize that the company doesn't care about the content you're putting out. They just care about the engagement and how long they can keep people watching that content. Some people must really like those videos because people keep making them and they get a lot of views. Sad to say, some of them get tons of views. The ones that have the AI voice over the Minecraft gameplay, for example. 10 facts about libraries that you've never heard before. And it's just stupid stuff, but people will watch it. And it's mindless brain rot content, but it works for the platform and it does get people engaged in watching it, unfortunately. AI hallucinations is a problem with all AI at the time being, including very powerful coding AIs, but it's getting resolved. Okay. The devil's advocate for AI. I feel like the hallucination's a lot better than it used to be for at least, even if you notice there's a hallucination, the AI is a lot more open about understanding it. Before it was fighting with you. It was saying like, no, I'm sure it's this. And it's like really aggravating. It's like, no, it's this. And they're like, okay. And I find that AIs, of course, that are connected to more current events and have access to the web, of course, might be more prone to hallucination. I don't know. It depends on the model, I think. I worked on an AI algorithm for a company and good Lord, it had some horrific hallucinations. Nancy Grace will always have the large audience than NPR. Fast reaction, don't care about the accuracy, just be relevant. Yeah, just yell as loud as possible. Yell, throw your hands up. You must be telling the truth. Look over here, everyone. Woo! Truth, truth, truth. The loudest voices win, usually. the same now as it comes to cable channels. We're fighting for attention, just influencers now. Yeah, when you think of where the internet has kind of changed entertainment industry as a whole, people used to really be influenced by celebrities and Hollywood and things like that. And it's really less and less nowadays. We just see a lot of them as just privileged people in a closed environment. Influencers now have a lot more power, and some of them probably shouldn't have it. I don't think influencing is something people should take lightly, and with all of that power to influence, some of them don't know what to do with it, or are quite young when they have all of this power to influence and don't realize what they're doing with it. And that's scary as well. And giving this illusion of everything is easy, and especially for content creators. My niece, for example, is 8 years old, and she already told me she wants to grow up to be a YouTuber. And I told her, okay, you want to be a YouTuber, we're going to sit down together and we're going to create your quote unquote channel, and we're going to see how you could handle that workflow, because I think a lot of kids don't understand the behind the scenes of YouTube. So I sat down with her 2 weekends ago, and I discussed her my day of being a YouTuber, how I make videos, what I do behind the scenes, and she doesn't want to be a YouTuber anymore. She's like, that's too much work. I don't want to do that. And I said, don't worry. If you become really famous, somebody can do all the hard work for you and you can be the entertainment. But if you're going to be a YouTuber, you have to have an idea. You can't just go in front of the camera, joke around, and then hope everything works out. And yeah, I think that maybe we should be going into schools and teaching kids that these careers or these new ways of entertainment or making money are idealized, and it's not so easy. It's skills that kids could learn. I think these skills could pay off in other realms and other career paths for sure. I mean, editing, copywriting, creating thumbnails. There's a lot of creativity that goes into it, but people just see the influencer lifestyle and think, I want to do that. That looks great. Like, I want to have a Lamborghini and drive super fast through school zones. Like, don't we all want that? No, we don't. I think it comes a long way. People started being dumbified with TV and trash TV shows. Big Brother. Oh my gosh, the trash reality. My brain got rotted from Jersey Shore. I tell you that. Laguna Beach, all of that stuff. I really want it. Even now, my brain is like, I would love to live on Laguna Beach because it must have been like the TV show. We don't use our brain anymore. No, not to the degree we need to. People find it cute when a little kid says like and subscribe at the end of a video message, and I find it horrifying. I find it horrifying when anyone says like or subscribe. I'm one of those people who I don't want to put that in my video. It sounds cringe. And if people don't know how to like and subscribe to a YouTube video by now, YouTube is 20 years old. If you haven't figured out how to use it, I don't know how to help you. I'm not here to explain. Click the bell icon. People aren't stupid, and if they're that stupid, they probably shouldn't be following my channel. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to beg for likes and subscriptions. I mean, maybe one day I will. I don't know. Do you have a goal in terms of subscriptions, like reaching the equivalent of an average salary in France? My goal for subscriptions and ad revenue would be to make minimum wage at this point. I would be happy with minimum wage. That would be what I could sustain myself on. That's so sad to say. And minimum wage in France is 1,300 euros a month. Currently, I am at 165 euros a month. I have a long way to go. Ad revenue doesn't pay as much as people might think. Sponsorships maybe pay more. I've never had a paid sponsorship. I've been given products to review. I've had affiliate programs with certain companies. Those do pay a little bit, but even all of that accumulated doesn't really make the most. To be honest, the most I've made per month was maybe 250 euros. So yeah, I want to be an actor. Studying involve acting? No. TLC is doing God's work nowadays. DCL, yeah. Hate to disagree with you, but I think a lot of people are stupid. I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm really hoping people know how to like and subscribe to a YouTube video. It does help a lot, surprisingly, when people like the video. I don't want to beg for likes. If you don't like the video, don't like the video. I mean, I feel like if you ask people to like the video, sometimes people dislike because they don't like being told what to do, which I get that as well. And honestly, the best way to reward any content creator is to just watch the content. The most negative impact you could have to a content creator is click out of the video before the first 20 seconds or so. That will just kill their their whole revenue stream. So I think YouTube probably trains big content creators to get the likes and subscriptions, so that way it shows to brands and sponsors that, hey, look how many people like my videos, look at my engagement. And for me, that's kind of false engagement. I prefer comments, people interacting with comments, and real interactions. Liking and subscribing doesn't really pay the bills. It doesn't do anything. It just, yeah. I just think it maybe boosts the stats for when you're talking to sponsors. Self-reflection is a talent. It's a talent that doesn't pay, though. Nobody wants to come onto YouTube to watch somebody self-reflect, I think. You guys are the select few, the courageous few who watch Laura rambles. More than 10% towards your wage goal. Let's go. Yeah, 10%. Woo woo. It's taken me 1 year to get 10% of my wage goal. If I can get to minimum wage in the next year, things are good. I'm not looking to be rich. I'm not looking to be famous. I'm looking to survive. That's my goal. That's my goal on YouTube, guys. I will be able to feed myself. Everyone is smart in their own way, Mike. That's a true. You can be dumb but have common sense. And you can be super intelligent and have zero common sense. So it's just, how well are you at surviving the average thing life throws at you per day? Some people, I'm really surprised that they've made it through life without getting hit by a bus, for example, or not drinking bleach by accident. And some people, I'm just like, wow, you're the smartest person I've ever talked to, and you're stuck in this horrific retail position, and your talents are not being used where they should be being used. And that's frustrating as well. You can be dumb and have zero common sense and struggle to open doors. You can be the both, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot of variety, and there are a lot of dumb people. There's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately. And I think the way technology is setting us up, it's only making us dumber. It's not really challenging us to think outside the box. And I guess after having this conversation about digital detoxing, I'm feeling a bit better. Because even if I'm struggling, I feel like I'm not dumb, at least, or I might be dumb for trying to do it. I don't know. How do we know if we're dumb? Is that a dumb question? I'm sure there's a BuzzFeed quiz for this. Does BuzzFeed even exist anymore? That's another question. Have you ever thought about streaming on multiple platforms at the same time? I've seen it work for some people. I have been thinking about this. I'm thinking about doing it for my side channel, for my gaming channel. I think it has more appeal for gaming rather than digital minimalism. I'm not sure many people hang out on other platforms for digital minimalism. I could try it. I'm having a really hard time with the streaming software to work with YouTube at this point. I'm going to have to do some deep diving into see how I can multi-stream because I don't have faith in my current setup at this point. I'm scared. Sometimes act dumb. Yeah, I think we all act dumb in certain situations. The part of my brain that handles not banging my toes is really dumb. BuzzFeed exists. Oh my gosh. Let's take, which Tinkerbell fairy are you? It's funny. I made the mistake of watching a Twitch streamer playing chess once. Oh no, I'm not on there much, so chess just took over the front page. Yikes. I used to watch Twitch when Fortnite had first come out, I think, or a PUBG. I was watching a lot of people play those kind of shooting games, even though I never played them. I liked the battle royale kind of atmosphere of watching other people play, because I would be the person who dies before they even hit the ground. So I was into that for a little bit. I don't know what else I was watching. I was watching people play The Sims. I like people playing The Sims. It's relaxing. I was watching people draw too with Adobe Illustrator, I think, and using the Adobe Creative Suite in general, because I couldn't afford it. So watching people use it made me feel good. Now I haven't touched Twitch in a long time. I know there are other platforms too to stream on, but I don't really know about them, and I don't know the people running those platforms. I'm not sure if I want to put my content on those platforms. Twitch is already maybe for me. I guess people do stream on TikTok nowadays. I don't know. I think that's maybe just vertical streaming. I'm not sure if you can do horizontal. It's just so much to manage. I know it's my job to be spreading the content around a bit better. I'm terrible at it. I'm learning as I go. Again, this is why I only make $160 a month. If I was living in a content house and only sleeping 3 hours a night and just pushing out content every day, I would probably be a lot higher on the chain. But, you know, life. I used to stream at Twitch Studio, stopped, and I'm at Worth OBS, so I haven't streamed since. Yeah. Do horizontal, but TikTok was weird. Censors, not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know the rules on certain platforms, how they're going. I know streaming for gaming is not so great on YouTube, so if I did stream for my gaming channel, I'm not sure. I gotta jump into my gaming channel soon again. I don't know if I'm gonna go straight back into Silent Hill. I'm still digesting what I've gone through so far with it, and it's kind of freaking me out. So I will get back to it, but I think I'm going to do something more on the simulator side for a bit, just to vary the content a little bit. And I don't want to become one of those creators who just makes I'm scared of everything content. I kind of want to create a little bit of variety, so if people discover the channel, they have some entertainment no matter what. Yeah. I think I'm back. I don't know. Is the sound okay? I'm gonna have to pop out a new chat because I can't see my chat. Sounds good. Okay, I'm back. I survived. I think my internet cut out. It wasn't OBS. I think it was my actual internet. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I survived. Does anyone see Mova's channel? He's a 70-year-old trying out gaming on YouTube. It's really inspiring. Oh, I'm gonna watch his channel now. I think everyone should have a gaming channel. It's just finding the games that inspire you to play, I guess. I love playing scary games, but I'm really bad at them, and I just don't know if it's entertaining to watch me scream and freak out. It's really a workout. I understand that gaming is a sport now after being scared to death. I really can't stand zombies or stuff like that. What camera do you have for your lives? Looks amazing. It's actually the same camera I use to film my regular videos, but for some reason it looks better on my lives, I feel. It's my Sony ZV-1F. Excel is an esport too, yeah. Excel is torture. I hate Excel. Again, another reason I left my previous job. I made a vow as somebody who's losing their vision. I will never spend another day looking at a spreadsheet for the rest of my God-forsaken life. Just not gonna do it. Not worth any of the usable vision I have left to look at Excel, Google Sheets, anything equivalent, because I can't see it and it makes me angry. The light in your streams looks more natural. I assumed you have a window open to your right. It is. I only use natural light, even in my main channel videos. I never use artificial lights. I like free light. I don't look good under unnatural lighting, I guess. I don't know how lighting works. I'm not a professional person at filming, so I do have a window in front of my desk. And it's supposed to make me feel happy. The sun reflects off the house in front of me. So the sun's not right on me. It's reflecting on a house that reflects back onto me. So I think the lighting looks good because of that. Maybe the time of day's impact then, or the room you're in. I think it's the time of day. Generally when I'm filming in the mornings and the light is different. It's more direct in the mornings. And now it's the afternoon. So I think, again, the effect of the light going on the house and reflecting back in has a softer appearance than the direct sunlight. It's definitely playing the games. I stayed in this room. I used to film in my bedroom. The lighting was a bit better in the morning in my bedroom. But I was getting a lot of like creepy comments about filming in my bedroom, so I kind of tried to move my content production to my desk to make it feel like I'm more legit as a tech reviewer. People didn't think my content was as professional when I record from my bedroom, apparently. Mariah Carey versus light versus that. Do you like creation games? Maybe something like Planet Coaster, Dawn of Man, or just create horribly unethical situations in The Sims. Yeah, I think I'm going to do unethical situations in The Sims, probably. I have an idea in The Sims that I'll run by you guys, maybe. I think since I'm learning a lot about Linux, I kind of want to learn the history of Linux. And in order to do that, I'm going to create a Linux family, starting with like the original OG. So like the base levels of Linux, and then they're going to have children with different distros, of course. And and I'm just going to make horrible things happen to them, of course, and maybe rival houses for different distros. Maybe they'll be like the Arch family versus like the Desbian family, or like, I don't know. I want to combine my interest into gaming with tech as well. I kind of want to cross over a little bit and learn something at the same time. I feel like I don't know enough about the history of Linux, and it's driving me crazy. So I kind of want to go down that road of, yeah, kind of playing it together. Are you still happy with the compact? I'm still happy with the compact. I've actually been running it with 2 SIMs, and it does eat a lot more at the battery with 2 SIMs. So there was another hit to my battery life, unfortunately. I love the call quality. I love it as a phone. Honestly, it has been amazing. I have nothing to really complain about it. Like, I use it really as a digital minimalist device. I have WhatsApp on it. I've removed my email because I hide it, I should say. I hide apps that I don't need every day because I don't like to look at the clutter on my phone. But I do leave WhatsApp and my alarm clock on my app drawer, and that's it. And it's been going well, honestly. If you're doing weird Linux distros, get Red Star OS in there. I'll do any distro people suggest to me in the Sims, and I'm going to have to do some research on the character traits of some distros and the people who use those distros to kind of create the Sims. Just create absolute, like, horrific environments for them. Some like more indie style distros where people are living off the grid with no electricity and things like that, or rags to riches. Some different challenges, of course. I want to do challenges with the Sims in my crazy Sim environments. I mean, there's only so many ways you can kill the Sims, but it would be funny with a little bit of tech humor in there too. Was it like an ant farm? Do you know if it's possible to add minimal launcher? I believe the icons are a bit much for the Mudita. I couldn't figure out how to install my ideal launcher. I did see some people in Reddit posting some workarounds on how to install the launcher. I need to look more into that. I agree. I don't like the default launcher of Mudita. I think that they're working on alternative launchers, if I heard correctly from the grapevine of information. Honestly, if they just allowed us to put our own launcher on there, I would be easy breezy, lemon squeezy. I don't personally like launchers with app drawers. I just like to have text or minimalist icons if possible. I gotta drink something. What's more minimal than having a mess around with ADB and using different launcher? So true, Mike. It's a crap ton of work from Confirm. Yeah. Honestly, I've gotten used to the launcher and the look because I don't really use the phone. Like, I guess it's kind of reached the goal where I don't really care what it looks like because I don't use it. I only use it to pick up phone calls now and reply on WhatsApp. I did notice that video playback in WhatsApp wasn't working. So somebody sent me a video and the video would not play in WhatsApp. So there is that bug with WhatsApp. Can see photos, of course, but has its pluses and minuses. It does keep me off my device. I removed my micro SD to put in the other SIM card. So I'm running 2 SIMs. I'm running my professional SIM with my personal SIM. I don't have my music on there anymore, so I'm not using it as a music player. I find, again, I don't like using devices as my entertainment devices. That's a dangerous territory for me to use the device more than I need to. So I've been using my iPod Classic for my music or my CD player. So that's been fine. I'm having a conundrum right now with my Google Pixel 8. I do use this device primarily for work, but I also have it divided into different profiles because, of course, with Graphene OS, you can divide it and those profiles don't interact with each other. And I have a completely private profile for all my financial health information, and then I have a more open profile for managing my work information for YouTube, for any applications I need to communicate for social media. And I'm finding myself, even though I don't have a SIM card in it, I'm really having a hard time cutting the cord with that device and leaving it on my desk and not touching it. So it's really, I'm really angry with it right now because I do use it a lot for work. I do use it to create short form content. I use it for shooting B-roll footage primarily. But then I find that I've put so much important applications on it because I wanted to protect it for privacy reasons with graphene, that I find myself using the device more than I would like because I've done that. And that is to say, I would like to have a more private Android on my tablet, maybe. I was looking into potentially doing Lineage OS. I'm not a big fan of Lineage OS, but I know it could probably work better on my tablet, which is a Lenovo M9. I know it's like the junkiest tablet on the market probably, but I do like the tablet size factor because other tablets in that size range are much more expensive. Of course, the the iPad mini or something like that size. I like a smaller tablet. And yeah, I'm really struggling with how can I put a custom ROM on that particular device. And then I got myself into thinking maybe I needed a specific device for all of my apps that I need that aren't on my Pixel. Because if I put something on that device for my Pixel 8, I will use that device, unfortunately. And that's becoming a pain point. I tried to migrate everything to my computer to really get off of devices in general, but some apps I absolutely need as an app because the web app doesn't work or is not optimized what I need to do for it. So that's kind of sucky. It's just annoying. I feel like I'm trapped sometimes. I was hesitating on going with a Morena Google Pixel tablet because it can be rooted as well. I don't know. I don't want to spend the money on something new. Honestly, my tablet I only use for entertainment. It's just an entertainment device. It only has open source apps on it. I just am scared to put information that I want to keep private on anything that's Android or Apple at this point. And it's kind of limiting. Like I could just put it on my Linux computer on a browser that I trust, and I don't trust anything else. Like it's just crazy. I also saw the space hey emoji in Discord. I love it. That resonates. I feel like I'm trapped too sometimes. It's just, yeah, I just want privacy and I want to be able to have a device that I can trust. And I'm really having trust issues with certain devices that I have. I don't want to buy a new device just to have more privacy, but sometimes you feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I know, I hate that suggestion is buy a new thing. I don't want to buy a new thing. I just want to modify the thing that I have. I want to put whatever I want on it and modify it the way I want it. I want to just work. Why doesn't Graphene OS work with every Android tablet? Why did I just want things to work. And I couldn't unlock the bootloader very easily. I still can't unlock it. I don't have the patience, honestly, to be fair, with the damn thing. So now it's just sitting there. I have Android on it, but I just have open source apps on it right now. I don't have any private information on there, basically. And it's just, I feel like I have a device where I could use it for something to get me off of my Google Pixel 8. It's the bane of my existence. I don't want to be on it, but I have all my essential apps on there. Home server time. Yes, I know. I need to do the home server. I'm going to use my old ThinkPad for the home server, I think, everybody. I'm deciding on that. I just need to set it up. I need to set it up. Since you're into digital minimalism, maybe you can get into something to entertain you other than devices, perhaps like chess or something, maybe. I used to play chess. I don't know. I like devices. No, I do go for walks. I'm in a walking club. I do read. I don't get much fun out of board games anymore. I can't see very well. Chess, I can see. I just get really pissed off with chess. I'm going to be honest. I'm not a good chess player. It's a skill. It's a skill I need to develop. We can definitely give Google kudos for being so open that they collect our data. Yeah, 100% Google and Microsoft are at least transparent about it. Stream chess on Twitch. Now that's a callback. I could stream playing chess. Again, it would be me yelling obscenities, and like I would probably get banned from streaming at that point because I just don't have the patience. I don't have enough foresight in chess. I'm very much not seeing ahead as much as I should. I used to be very good at chess when I was younger, and then as I got older, I just got less patient. Model of ThinkPad is it? I'll do a little research. I have a ThinkPad P52. Right now it's currently running Linux Fedora, but I am open to change distros for that computer if there's an easier one, maybe for server usage, I'm sure. I don't need anything specific on there. I'm not using it anymore, and I would like to use it as a home server because it does have a lot of storage. Just set up Nextcloud and you're done. Who doesn't get pissed off during chess? Chess has a ton of theory, just got to be patient with it. Yeah, that's my problem. Lack of patience for certain things. Some things I have too much patience. And other things I think chess is a beautiful game. It's something that I admire, and I need to get back into it. I think this is a good suggestion. I think I'm going to try it again. That may be 2 steps ahead in chess. Other than that, I wing it. Yeah. I'm very reactive in chess. I'm not proactive. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm like, gotta protect the king and queen usually. I'm just too scared to move and be risky. For OBS, do you need a really good laptop or PC? I was using OBS on my ThinkPad P52 and it was working fine. I don't think you need a super good PC. It does help to have more RAM. I had 32 gigs on my ThinkPad and it did help, but I think it could run 16 fine, honestly. I don't think OBS is that intensive as some other things. The thing that was taking most of my RAM was actually Google Chrome and Windows, of course. Do you think you'd enjoy board games more if there were more visual contrast? Absolutely. If they made, I'm sure they have a version of low vision Monopoly or something like this. I could play Monopoly in grayscale. I would be completely fine with it. I love black and white. If you haven't guessed by my channel aesthetic and things like that, just black and white would be fine for me. I don't need colors to distinguish fun. I'm trying to think of the games I can play Uno. That's contrasty enough to see the different colors, I guess. They do have Braille Uno as well, low vision Uno, giant cards. I like old-fashioned card games too. Big into playing rummy or even poker and things like that. That's how I grew up and how we entertained ourselves with no TV. Living in the country. Let's get low vision Catan going. Yes. I would go for low vision Catan. Oh, they have all sorts of low vision chessboards. They do. They have dominoes too. I love dominoes, and I'm really thinking of investing in some low vision dominoes. If you play chess on a computer online, yes, I'm going to look for some low vision chess online. Then just play poker. I love poker. I love poker too. I do love poker. Don't like gambling. I don't like. I wouldn't be able to play poker on YouTube, for example, because they don't allow gambling. I don't like money with poker. I just like the fun of playing. Even when I played with my family, we would play pennies or something like not worth anything, even chips or something like that. I just like the thrill of winning. Skip-Bo is also friendly. Yep. I love card games. Love a good card game. Love a good card game. I feel like it's something that we always entertain ourselves with at school. On school vacations, my grandparents were big card players and puzzlers, so we did a lot of puzzles. And I've tried puzzling. I think I need to look for high contrast, low vision specific puzzles, perhaps, because I'm really having a hard time puzzling. I can do the edges fine, usually, but it really depends on the colors I'm using. I struggle with my son who's 4. His puzzles are already challenging enough for me. Thank God his eyes are great, so he could really help me for the colors. 6 or something from that time. Yeah. No fun card game. We call it cards. It's very fun. I don't like the new FIFAs. I don't like the new FIFAs either. I used to play, what is it, like the old FIFAs on PlayStation when they first came out. I was so bad at playing any games as far as team games, like either football or soccer, basketball. I had a really hard time changing the players. So at one time when I was playing FIFA, I was just playing as the goalkeeper and just running around the field. Playing as the normal player plus the goalkeeper because I didn't know how to change my players. Like, I'm that kind of player. I'm just so bad. Like, I'm really bad at retaining what controls do what. I don't know what it is. It's not a vision thing. It's definitely just muscle memory, and I forget so fast with gaming what does what. That's kind of why it's entertaining probably to watch me game, but the new FIFAs are too complicated. I just want a simple throw some people on a field and run around. I don't need all these fancy special kits or things like that. I don't really care what they're wearing, to be fair. I don't care. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look up some card games and see what's available. Maybe I'll get like old people watching my streams. Like, hey everybody, welcome to another stream about playing rummy. Different kind of, we can play gin rummy. I've never tried Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a beautiful game. I love the look of it. I've watched other people play it. I remember in one of my offices, I think, when I was working in a tech company, they had it for break time and stuff. So I did watch people play it, and I really loved the look of it. I would just ride my horse around. I wouldn't get anything done. It would be like Grand Theft Auto for me. I never did any missions with Grand Theft Auto. Just drove cars around. Yeah, didn't do any missions, but had a blast. I really love Vice City. I memorized all the music, the radio stations, driving through the roads. Like, it just was my vibe. Didn't like San Andreas as much as Vice City. My favorite poker game is Texas Hold'em. I'm a basic bitch. Once we're into FIFA tournament with my cousin, she knows the word. Never played it. We only won one game, I think. Yeah. I'm really bad at playing any sports games. Vice City was my entire childhood. It is. I loved Vice City. Nothing can beat that moment in time for me. It was just such a well-designed game, but just, yeah. The radio and the cars, man, that got me going. Loved it. Oh, no, the Inzoid, you can create a commit and a hit and run. That's nice. I'm glad they added that in there. That would be my luck. I know I said it was a stream, but definitely play Red Dead Redemption 2. I know. I need to play it. I need to save up money for all these games. I didn't realize how expensive games have gotten. When did games get so expensive? I'm just old, I guess. I felt like $50 used to be the extreme price point for games, but now they've gone up so much. Do you think that could not work? Try to review really old tech, Discman, Walkman, phonograph, phone. I could review old tech. I've been trying to find some old tech, but the problem for me is when I get into rabbit holes with old tech, it gets to a point of obsession that I find is probably not healthy for me. So I try to not go down that rabbit hole too much with old tech unless it's something I'm really feeling that I'm going to incorporate into my life. I mean, I've kind of gone that way with my Game Boy usage now. I play a lot of Game Boy Color. I found a thrifted, modded Game Boy Color that has a backlight and is super easy for me to see. So that has really improved my gaming on that device particularly. I've been buying a lot of games that I used to like, plus games I never had, so that's been fun. I could maybe see myself purchasing an older game console. I wouldn't say no to, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe just an emulator would be fine for my use case scenario. I don't know. When did your interest with tech start? My interest with tech started probably when I got my first computer in 1995. Nobody in my family had ever used a computer, so it was up to me to learn how to use it and teach everyone in my family how to get on the internet, check emails, create an email. And I think, again, already at that age, I was pretty visually impaired. So I felt like for the first time in my life, I could actually see things the way I wanted to be able to see them and be creative in a different way. And yeah, once I discovered gaming, of course, and I think the first game that I really got into bad in the 1990s was, of course, Sims when it came out, The Sims 1. Jesus, I lost probably years of my life in that game. But then at the same time, I was also playing Game Boys, so I was heavy into Pokemon and yeah, always been into music. So I was big into cassettes, of course, and then slowly migrated into CDs. I was ripping songs from the radio for fun. I had so many portable CD players. It's unbelievable. I, of course, had a stereo in my room, which had like 5 CDs on it where I could rotate through my CDs. Plus, it had like the cassette player, so I could rip my songs from the radio, play my songs from the radio too, make my mixtapes. Once I learned how to burn CDs, that was a whole nother journey. And then, yeah, just kept going from there. My initial love with tech was definitely with computers, though. PCs was the one that got me through it. I was always around gaming consoles. I have an older brother, so he always had games and consoles around. I wasn't into it too much. I did play some Duck Hunt and some Super Mario Brothers. I got into Sega pretty hardcore with my uncle. I was really into Sonic for the longest time. I didn't get out of that hole for a while. And yeah, a little bit here and there my whole life, I think. I've never not had tech in my life, or I've never avoided it. I've never been scared of it. So still play with my old NES, yeah. Old games. Love Duck Hunt. Love them. I had the perfect eyes as a child and couldn't handle the original Game Boy screen. I had the adapter to zoom into the screen, and plus I had the light. It had a light in it as well for the zoom part. The screen is so small though. is really dang small. I don't know how I spent so much of my child. I had it glued to my face. I have a stereo CD player for 51 CDs. Wow. The old Walkman with the crappy headset. Oh, the good old days. You had the metal bar with the crappy foam covered stuff. Do you speak French? I do speak French. I do speak French with a very bad accent. No, I'm just kidding. Very, very strong American accent. Sometimes I miss old tech, but then I realize that modern tech is better in some ways. I really don't like the new gaming consoles. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed. I have a Nintendo Switch and I hate it. I think it's the next device on my for sale list for sure. I thought I would like it, but I think maybe when you get to a certain age, you kind of just like what you like or have nostalgia so strong that you can't adapt to new consoles. Like maybe that's my problem. I don't know. I feel like PC gaming is something that I can always be on top of and not have any issues, but consoles are just different for me. I'm not impressed with where Nintendo's going for the Switch 2 as well. I think the price of the games only being available to download online, and yeah. It's disappointing. I live in the northern province, Netherlands. Current experience refers to many CBCs. I've really been enjoying some older games. It's tricky to know what nostalgia and what's simplicity is more fun. Yeah. I mean, your new refurbishing journey is looking pretty cool. Nintendo is low-key keeping the profitable consoles alive. So Nintendo is just like... The worst part is that no matter what they do, the other companies are going to follow it because they're like the Apple of the console world. So no matter how much they charge, how awful they make, like obtaining games and the prices, like people will still pay it because it's Nintendo. And then other console manufacturers will justify their price hikes because Nintendo does it. So we can do it too. And people will pay. And it's just an awful loop as well. Squid Game was right. We should go back to simple games and adults for money. Would you join Squid Game? Would be the question. I think you have to be in a very desperate situation. I mean, I'm not saying I'm rich by any means, but I don't think I'm in that situation where I have debt hanging over my head besides like when I had student debt, maybe. I would join Squid Games if I wasn't going to die from it. Like, that's not the way to go. I don't think I would join Beast Games. That's another one that's you're not going to die from it, but I don't want to be in that either. Marbles, yeah, like Squid Game, played a lot of marbles too as a kid. I think that we should look back on things that we played that were fun and maybe revisit them. Some jacks. Ball in the cup. There's a good digital minimalism game for me. Every day I sacrifice a bit of my life to make money. Might as well go for the gold. Yeah. It's like Hunger Games or any of those situations. Like, I guess. Could you imagine your job though proposing like, hey, we have one position that's open that you all will have to compete against it, but you will die in the process. But if you make it, you'll make a lifetime salary in that position that you have or something. That would be crazy. People would do it. Speed running life. I would rather play in the Hunger Games. I think I'd rather play in the Hunger Games too. Squid Game seems... It really depends upon the people you have in the Squid Game with you. And it just seems... There's too much reliance on other people that I'm not sure that my networking skills would be good enough to survive Squid Game. I don't know what I'd be able to bring to my team. I can't see for shit, so... I guess I'm strong and fast enough to survive some things. Yeah, I don't know. I think about this all the time. If I was in any of these kind of dystopic games, or even Survivor or something that's on TV, I don't think I could survive. I don't think, like, Amazing Race, maybe? It depends what country I'm in. We are already understaffed. If they created a YouTube version of, like, who wants to be the next Mr. Beast? Like, if there was a competition where they brought in a bunch of small YouTube channels and you had to compete against each other in certain challenges or work together, network, and things like that. And then the grand prize would be that you would get all the subscribers, like, that could exist on YouTube as your prize, like the ultimate access to the whole audience. I'm sure people would definitely join that, and that would be crazy. I would watch it. I would watch it. The human body is way more resilient than you think. I think the human body can do great things. I'm just not sure that my body or my mind would be sharp enough for a lot of these games, but I'm not sure. I don't know. It depends how much is, like, truly vision based, I guess. I would let people down. I feel like that in a zombie apocalypse. I feel like I used to be a strong contender for keeping my group of zombie apocalypse peeps alive, but now I guess I could hear zombies pretty well, so I guess that could be a skill. It's just, yeah. I'm just getting silly here. Oh. Oh, my glasses have changed. I look like I'm in the 70s. Hey guys, we're gonna review the new Bee Gees album. Or I could be looking like a serial killer. Next game, Resident Evil. No. I put my foot down. I can barely survive Silent Hill. There's no way I'm gonna handle Resident Evil. No way. No way. In a zombie apocalypse, I would turn into a zombie, immediately join the winning team from the start. That's a good strategy. I don't want to survive a zombie apocalypse. Is that bad to say? I don't want to be living that. Talk about friction. The Last of Us. Yeah, that's not a world I want to be in either. I don't want any of it. I don't want to live through that. I would not save Mary. Screw Mary. The whole storyline. I understand that it's probably in his head, or he's probably going through crap, and I don't know. I don't know if it's a dream scenario, the whole scheme of it all, but it feels like very weird. But even so, even in a dream, I'm pretty sure I can consciously make that choice to not go save somebody in that situation. Not the remakes, but the OG on GOG. Yeah, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I don't have that hero mentality. I don't know if that's like something you have to have for a lot of these games when you're going through these missions. I don't care. Like, I don't want to save these people. Is that terrible to say? I guess maybe in the future you'll be able to insert people into your life, or AI will automatically know all your information based on your data and will be able to create a video game environment of your loved ones and friends and family, and even generate their likenesses because they'll have all that information. Maybe then I would be inclined to save the person, especially if it was my son or something. But even at one point, if my son found his way into Silent Hill, I honestly don't know. Like, that is I'd be like, What are you doing there? First of all, how did you get there by yourself? I don't know if I could save him. Like, it's so, like, I just like would have a heart attack before I even got there. I feel like he could get out more than I could get in at that point. The mortuary assistant. I don't mind being like, I don't know if there's no jump scares, I'm not scared of the dead things. It's the stuff jumping out at me, man. I can't handle it. I can only imagine how numb it would make you emotionally. Fight your way into Silent Hill. Purely say, how the hell did you get in here? I would be so mad. Yeah, I don't have the hero mentality to save people, I guess. Especially characters that probably should have that mentality. In real life, I would be very empathetic and want to help people, but I just can't get my head in the game situation, especially for scary scenarios, scary movies, all of that kind of thing. I'm just like, no. Everything says don't do it. Why do I want to do it? I don't want to do it. We're having a good time, Oliver. We are having a good time. I'm sure it's going that way though for gaming, to where they would just automatically create the game that they think that you would like to play. I don't know what that would look like for me. I think AI would probably create something like The Sims. But I think The Sims is limiting in the fact of kind of having enough storyline and relatable things. The Sims crossover with Silent Hill. That would be crazy. Make your own monsters. I'm going to go to create a sim and create what I think a monster should look like. I like Scary Movie. It's strange going back into gaming though. It's been so long since I've really gotten into it, and there's so much has changed. I don't get scared of horror games, but the atmosphere in them makes me very tense. Sometimes I feel like something it does make you super tense. I was sore after playing just like an hour in Silent Hill. Like, I was tense because I was being scared all the time. And just like the music, and something's going to jump out at you. Your body's just always on edge. I guess that's why people play these games. I don't know. I don't like that feeling. That's not something I get, like adrenaline, or feel like I've done something. I feel exhausted. I feel spent and mentally drained. Like, I don't feel like that was fun experience. It's like going to the dentist. Like, it's not something I want to do willingly. You don't get it. It's for the jump scare. People play horror games for the jump scares, release burst of dopamine. I don't get any dopamine. I just get horrific, and I can't see what's going on. So it's just panic. Like, it's just plain panic. I don't know. It's like that feeling when you lose your child in a crowd of people. Like, it's the worst feeling ever. Like, it's just, I don't want to feel that. Like, it's not a good feeling of like, fight or flight. Oh my God, where's that person? Oh my gosh, like, I live that every day. Like, I live that all the time. My brain creates scary things because of my loss of peripheral vision. I see scary shit all day, every day. I don't want to play it. It's not a good feeling. It's not something I look to emulate because I'm always going through it. I'm always tired from dealing with it. And this is why I don't go for walks by myself anymore, because I get scared. Like, stuff jumps out that's not there. And yeah, my life is Silent Hill. Just kidding. No, I don't see monsters like that bad, crawling on the ground. I literally see scary people in the peripheral vision, usually. Scary, scary people. I don't go the haunted houses. Haunted houses don't scare me so much. Roller coasters just make me sick nowadays. I'm not scared of them. I am irrationally scared of heights that didn't used to, but I think it's because I don't see the depth. So I don't know how high I am. I think it's my brain just like, I'm not understanding. I saw Theme Hospital. I was hesitating on that one. I do like scary shows and movies though, but it has to have story and depth in the characters as well. Like I like series, I guess, like American Horror Story. I want to know more about like the motivations, and I don't like scared for the sake of being scared. But I think Silent Hill has I think they build the story along a lot, but I'm not vibing with saving Mary. Like, I just think she's dead and he's probably going through a psychotic episode at this point. I mean, I'm afraid as much as the supposed to be scary stuff never stuck me as pleasurable. Yeah. Don't care for most horror movies. I used to like horror movies a lot when I was a teenager, when it's like fun to go with your friends and to be scared together. But watching it as like a pastime for fun now, no, not really. I don't like gore. After becoming a parent, horror and death just affects me differently, I guess. It just makes me really just like sad for the like I just get sad, depressed, and like I don't want to see people die. It's not a fear, it's an instinct. Yeah. Theme Hospital is an ancient game. I used to love it. I'll check it out. I saw it on GOG 97 that came out. Theme Hospital. Sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other games that I would like to try. But I think Silent Hill will be my last my last try into horror theme games for a bit, I think. It's just not my style. It's not a good feeling. I can't see what's going on. It's just panic. It needs to It's just panic. Yeah, all I do is panic in those games. When people ask, like, what do you think you would do in a certain scenario? I know for me, 9 times out of 10, it's just going to be panic. Like, when in doubt, just panic. like fight or flight. Like, I don't think I'm doing either fight or flight. I think I'm just going to be like, ah! Like, there's no rhyme or reason. Like, my brain can't comprehend the situation, and especially if I can't see it, I'm just going to scream and yell. Like, there's an annual jam called Gamers for Blind Gamers. Might be worth looking into. Oh, I need to look into that. I saw one horror movie in the theater. If you don't, oh my God. After the panic, you get a dopamine and it's euphoria. I don't feel the euphoria part. I feel like I got beat up. I feel it's the same for when I used to be a competitive runner and people used to say you get the runner's high. I never got the runner's high. No matter how far I went or how competitive the race was or how in the zone I was running, I never felt that euphoric runner's high. I always wanted to feel it. I know other people who experienced it and I never felt it. And I think it's the same for games. I think my brain is just wired differently. I get dopamine off of dumb stuff and not off the stuff that's designed maybe to make me feel good. Or I don't feel good after being scared. Just like I don't feel good after a good workout. I don't feel good after certain things that are like, people are like, oh, you'll feel so great afterward. No, I feel like garbage. I feel sick. I feel tired. I feel not great. GOG, do you just buy and download the game? Yeah, Oliver. You can buy it directly there and should be able to download and play on your device. That's what I've done. I've only got a couple games, I think. I prefer GOG over Steam because GOG lets you download and install it and it's DRM free. Yeah. Take benzos, don't get euphoria. I'm just constantly high. Yeah, maybe it doesn't affect me the same because I'm on antidepressants. That could be definite impact of the mood, actually. It kind of suppresses the emotions the good and the bad emotions, but I still feel things, but not the same way. So I guess once I get off antidepressants, maybe I'll have a different experience. But again, when I used to be a runner, I wasn't on antidepressants then. I still didn't really get the euphoria. I still get scared shitless even on antidepressants. So that emotion is quite strong. That doesn't go away. Don't get the runner's high either. I don't know what people are talking about. I like running though. Yeah, I used to run every day, 3 times a day, and loved running. I loved the feeling of being able to see progress, and loved like beating my personal records and doing team events and things like that. But I never got the runner's high. I never was like, whoa, feel great, like feeling top of the world, like woo, running through pain or things like that. No, when something hurt, I would just stop and be like, no, I'm not doing it. My body said, ouch, done, don't care. There's nothing. I mean, some people feel euphoric for childbirth or things of extreme pain. I did not feel that. Like, it's just, no, it doesn't work. Like, not for everybody. I think some people's brains are wired differently for dopamine and what, especially when you're an addict or think differently, or I don't know how to put it in a term to say, like, your brain don't work the same as everybody else's. Your brain is different. Your brain doesn't have the same experience as the rest of the world. And I do have a neurological condition from my eye disorder and things like that impacts how my brain works. It's definitely neurodivergent in many different ways, physiologically as well as at a cellular level. And I think it does impact how I experience emotions. Some might say it's an autistic trait. I have never been diagnosed with autism, so I can't speak to that specific issue, but I can speak from my own personal issues that, it does potentially impact how I feel happy or how I feel sad and how I feel anything. Sometimes I know I should be feeling a certain emotion when I don't feel it, but that could also be the antidepressants. Through ADHD, if you have a brain that's neurodivergent, you know what I'm talking about. Anxiety, bane of my life, I'm autistic and ADHD. A lot of things go together. I noticed that anxiety and depression are one and the same for me. And when your brain is forced to do life a little bit differently, whether that's based on certain disorders, diseases, and just having a differently wired brain, it's good and bad. But I know I have panic for scary stuff, no fun. I used to have fun in roller coasters, don't have that anymore. I think as you get older too, your brain and like how your balance and inner ear works together, and when you have a sense that goes away, your body and your brain just want to survive, and it kind of mutes everything else. It's like survival over fun. Pain does not feel euphoric. It was when I was a teen. I used to put rubber bands around my wrists, stretch them, and release them on the arm afterward. It felt euphoric. I knew a lot of people doing the rubber band thing. It's hard to tell when you're on antidepressant, It depends how long you've been on certain medications to have different effects. I'm trying to get off of mine. Like, that's a goal. It's not an easy thing to deal with. That's also part of life. And just medications. It does make us manage life a little bit easier. But again, when your brain is not wired the same as everybody else's, doesn't matter what medication you're on. It doesn't solve, the medication's not going to solve the situation. It just, in my case, it helps mute the extreme variability of the emotions. But a lot of it is just like digital minimalism. You just have to manage how you go through life and how you manage certain situations and having coping mechanisms. And that's the hard part. That's the not so fun part. That's what therapy's for. Yay. We all have broken limbic systems. Yeah. My brain don't work right. Honestly, I don't think anyone is quote unquote normal. Everyone's brain's different. Everyone's experiences are different in life. Our reactions to things are different. The reasons we feel things are different. Our perception of the world is different. There's no way we can all feel the same, and that's not the goal of society. So we all going to do the best we got to do. You will know when you're ready to move away from it. I'm ready to move away from it. I know I'm ready. I've been ready, to be honest, and it was a tool to get me through a difficult situation, and I'm really happy to have had access and had healthcare professionals to help me in my situation. And I know that that is a fail-safe if something really goes that way. I hope it never does in my life again, but I need to, wean off of it for my own safe and healthiness, and I don't feel I need it anymore. And that, of course, that's something I have to talk to with my doctor. Like, that's everything. Like, but my doctor's already saying, like, I think you're good. I think you're ready. And everyone gets on different medication for different reasons. So, that's just part of life. Life is great. Can't we all just be happy and living a wonderful existence? But I am feeling a lot better after this live. I did come in a bit bummer, so if anyone's watching this from the beginning, I'm sorry for the down intro. There is a bit of cut in there. I'm gonna have to go through and cut the part that disconnected from the internet and everything. But I think we're ending on a high note. Yay! Happy Monday, everybody. And I think that we're going to have a good week, hopefully. I need to start planning my content again and start getting into the rhythm of being in the digital world after my digital detox. It's hard getting back into the groove of things, but I'll feel better once I start creating more videos. And hopefully some exciting things to come. Got to get back to my gaming channel, so I do have some ideas for that. And I might do a live on there, actually. I don't know if I'm feeling it tonight or tomorrow or something, but I'll try to play something maybe. I want to get back on my trucking simulator. I haven't played it much. I need to create my trucking company. I got hung up on what to name my trucking company and didn't get much further than that. So I think that's something I could definitely do live. But I'll be doing that on my other channel and not on this one, because I don't think it's the same audience, really. But thank you all again so much for joining in on the live, rewatching later on if you're rewatching this. And thank you all again for joining in, and see you next week, same time, same place. My gaming channel is actually mentioned in my description of my channel. It's Malvoyant Gaming, so the same as my last name on this channel, but gaming. And get into chess. Yes, it's on my list. And thank you all again so much for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.